So at the end of the last video we had got most of the front of the car back together. We've got all the radiator in, we've got the all the hoses for the cooling system all installed. So the next job on the list was to have the timing kit fitted. So that's just been done. We've had new timing belt, which the old one was actually wasn't perish, but it was looking really saggy. So there was a lot of flex on the belt. So the belt and the tensioner, that's all been done. Pair of new drive belts, that's been done as well. And then it was just the cooling system to be refilled. So refilled the cooling system with a 50-50 mix, and got the car up to temperature, thermostat open, no problem there. But the heater just would not get hot, and I had actually spent a couple of hours trying to bleed the system. The electric fan would keep cutting in as it should. Even though the car was running sometimes idle, sometimes with the engine revving a bit faster to try and get things moving around, the temperature gauge didn't budge from dead centre. It was perfect. It's just the heater would not get hot. After hours of bleeding, the best I could manage was lukewarm, and I knew from when I got the car that the heater was actually really strong. So what I've done today is come back to it, done a flush again, because even though I put new coolant in and the car had a new radiator as well, when the thermostat opened and everything started going through, the coolant started to turn brown again. So I flushed that all out again. This time I've got the hose pipe as well, ran it through the pipes both ways to the heater matrix, so flushed it and then back flushed it until everything ran clear. Once all that ran clear, we've put everything back together, checked all the hoses are correctly attached again, and filled the system again, 50-50 mix of coolant. Near enough brim the expansion bottle, got the car running. Once the thermostat opened, the level dropped. Had some more mix of coolant and distilled water again, deionised water to top the system back up, and it didn't take a great deal of. I was bleeding it again, and there wasn't very much coming through at all at first. So I'm squeezing the pipes, trying to get the pressure through, and the top pipe with the bleed valve. The first I knew there was anything coming through when I managed to burn my thumb again. So anyway, persisted with it, and eventually we did get some air bubbles come out, and the heater seems to be blowing nice and warm and fairly consistent. So the vehicle is still on SORN, so unfortunately I can't road test it yet, but hopefully that'll be job done. A few other little things I've tackled while I was waiting, after I'd done the flush, while I was waiting for everything to cool down. Sorry, not the flush, when I'd ran the flush through the system before I could drain the system. Well, the engine was cooling, I attended to another little job that needed doing. I've only managed to snap 2 bolts on this car. Both of them are on the front bumper, the ones that hold the top edge of the bumper to the front wings. So, and in both cases it was actually when putting everything back together, the bolts weren't even all the way back through. So really strange. But so I've drilled one of them out today, because the wheel had to come off to improve access for the timing gear. So while that was off, I've sorted out that side of the bumper. I've still got the one on the near side to do the same thing with. So, but I think that'll be a job for another day now. But yeah, now that coolant's done, and all the, well, basically everything under the bonnet more or less is done now. So yeah, just a few other little jobs. I may change the front discs and pads before the car goes on the road. I'm still undecided on that. They are going to need doing sooner than later though. But we, other than a few cosmetic things, it's nearly there. So hopefully we'll be back on the road again soon. But I think for another day we'll be calling it quits. Now that that job's out of the way, the work can actually begin. So, in today's video we're going to be retrieving a bolt, hopefully, from the back of this door card. Like a buffoon, when I remove these to take the mirror housings off to give them a bit of a refresh a few weeks ago, I managed to drop a bolt from here somewhere into this door. So one of those silly little jobs that I shouldn't have to do, but this is where we are. So I'm going to start by removing these, which just clip in. Easy as. And then we've got, I believe there's a fixing in here, or there should be, though I can't see any head. I think there may be a piece of trim over the top of that one. T25 bolt holding the door pull, and then we've got some smaller, I think T20s holding this door pocket in place. So I'm hoping I don't have to fully remove it and start disconnecting all the switch gear. I've also got my trusty magnetic pickup tool, so hopefully it shouldn't be too long a job. Well, at least I'm certainly hoping not anyway. Actually, I think there's a few bolts behind this speaker grill as well. It should, in theory, also just pop off. Do it without breaking the clips. Probably fine with cars where they've got almost a quarter century old plastic in them. Sometimes things are a little bit brittle, but that's not too bad. Let's have a see. T20s, I think, again. I don't know if they're fastened to the door or just to the card itself. Let's have a look. Yeah, so hopefully this won't be too big a job. I've just put a parts inquiry in this morning. I've had the front wheel off to look at the when we're doing the timing kit. It's given me a little bit better access to see the front suspension on the offside of the car, and there was a vibration sometimes at cold start coming through the steering, and I weren't sure if it could be a warm steering bush or an engine mount or something transmitting vibration. And on closer inspection, the engine mounts don't look great, so I've put an inquiry in for the engine mounts, and while I'm at it, to get prices and check availability as well of some of the other suspension components. So we're looking at lower arms, trackward ends, ball joints potentially, shocks and springs. Now I certainly for one don't fancy putting coil springs on it. To what I understand, it's quite dangerous and you can easily lose an eye. So if I do that job and I have a go at it myself, what I'll probably do is just take the spring and the shock somewhere and get them to assemble that, and then I'll just come and swap them over onto the car, hopefully. Oh, there we go. So that speaker is just fastened to the door card. But there are some more bolts behind there, so I think I'm going to have to unclip the speaker as well. We can do this without breaking anything. There we go. Oh, a bit torn as well. May have to consider an upgrade at some point. Oh yeah, those have definitely seen better days. Yeah, something else on the to-do list. Right. I think that might just join to the other part of the door card. Right, let's remove some of these other screws. It's like a voyage of discovery every time you start one of these jobs. A few screws here, a few screws there. It's true what they say, you're only ever a snap bolt away from a 3-hour job. Of course, all this could have been avoided by simply not dropping bolts down the inside of the doors in the first place. But you send a simple man to do a simple job. What else have we got? That one. I think there's definitely a cover over that door handle pull. My cream tools are small enough to get in there. Blast. They're fastened to anything structural. Oh, another schoolboy error. Got another trim piece to come out. Another piece unique to the coupe. Missing another fixing. We've got a gap at the bottom, but we're still joined at the ends. All this for one bolt. I wonder where that bolt could have fallen, if we can actually retrieve it through this hole. Oh, that's that ball. I found something else. What's this? I'm not sure that should be in there. Oh dear. I think this is going to take a little bit more investigation. So as I was faffing about a while and probably already boring you enough as it is, I've done a bit more work off camera. So yeah, there was a cover inside this door pull, small cover, and behind it another T20. So we've got that out of the way now. Part of the reason none of this were coming away is that it's actually all masticed as well, so you've got clips, screws and mastic. Renault actually did take quite a well, it was actually with the Renault 19 before, tried to make the car more Germanic, more solid, more a weightier feel to it. So obviously some of that's continued with the Megane as well, but I must say, back in those days, obviously you haven't got quite as much soft plastics as you do in a present day car, but even after 20 odd years there's not really any sort of rattles or anything in here. It's really solid how it's all constructed. So yeah, obviously we've got us the electric window and mirror switches here, which I may well have to disconnect as well. But yeah, even now the door's still fighting. What's that one unclipped? Look at that. Moment, I thought I felt something. Something loose, maybe? Something just dropped there. See if the magnetic pickup finds anything. Well, now we've definitely got something in the door. The end of my magnetic pickup tool. Bother. You know, sometimes you really should just give up and go and have a cup of tea. So we have failed miserably. Haven't managed to find the bolt. I did manage to retrieve my magnetic pickup tool though. So done another few passes around there, had a good feel around. If there is anything in there, then well, it's lodged somewhere, so it's not rolling around at least. So you've basically just spent a bit of time watching a man remove a door card for no apparent reason. But other than that, everything's good. Now let me just take you off here a moment, because if you recall, we were talking about the front suspension, so I'm going to give you a quick look around in there. Obviously not the best light to see, but those discs don't look very good at all. And in all honesty, everything's a little bit crustier than it should be. Bump stops don't look too bad, but she may not be the fastest car, but it definitely deserves to handle as intended. Yeah, that's definitely seen better days. In fact, a piece of that came away in my hand last night, so definitely want to be looking at replacing those, I think. So yeah, subject to prices and how bad this turns out to be, I think we've got a video for another day here, replacing some of this. I just hope these all come away nice and easily, because I did have a look at one of those heat induction tools that Matt at Furious Driving were using, but when I saw you looking best part of £400 or £500 and more for some, don't think I'll be getting one of those. So I think that just about does us for today. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the like, drop us a comment. It's nice to hear from people, find out if you actually enjoyed the video, and if you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button. That way every time a video is released, you're not going to miss it. Thanks again for watching.